A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News, come to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Center here in Colombo. I'm Florin Rajendran. Before going to the stories in detail, here's a look at today's headlines. The low pressure condition moves towards the north. Met Department forecasts the extreme weather to improve. Party office of presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena in Mahiyangania attacked. 3 persons injured. Radar data indicate missing Air Asia flight likely at bottom of sea. New Zealand wins the first test against Sri Lanka. In those stories in detail now, the Met Department forecasts that the low pressure condition that was developing in the seas of Sri Lanka is moving towards the north of the island, attributing to the reduction of rainfall in the north and east. However, the department notes that showers will occur in the northern, eastern and north central provinces today. Several spells of showers can be expected in the western province, particularly in the morning.
Water levels in the Anuradhapura sacred city, Mihindupura, Yasasiripura, Jayasiripura, Timbirikadavala and Jayantimawatha are receding. Our correspondent in the area stated that a number of shops in the Neeraviya area in Anuradhapura were damaged in the strong winds that gushed across the area. Meanwhile, the Pugudupura village in Anuradhapura continues to be inundated. Our correspondent in the area stated that 67 families have been moved to the DS Senanayaka College. 120 houses in the Amunuwalpitiya area in Badula are facing a risk of landslides. According to our correspondent, 200 families have been moved to safer locations as a precautionary measure. Our cameras recorded the sunrise after heavy showers wreaked havoc in many parts of the island.
Meanwhile, train services operating along the Batticaloa railway line has been restored following the extreme weather conditions. Head of Railway Control D.V. Gunapala said that train services commenced as usual from the Batticaloa line this morning. Restoration work was carried out on the flood-inundated Polonnaruwa-Batticaloa railway line yesterday. The Sirasa Shakti John Keel Sanayatra, initiated to provide essential aid to flood-affected people across the country, is currently distributing aid among the flood-affected people in Batticaloa. The Sanayatra has been undertaken by the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited in partnership with John Keel's Holdings PLC.
Following religious observances held last morning at the head office of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, the Sahanayatra convoys made their way to Putlam, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, Trincomalee and Batticaloa. The convoys, which headed to Putlam and Polonnaruwa, distributed aid at several locations yesterday. The convoy, which set off to Batticaloa district, reached its destination at midnight. Our reporter says that the distribution of aid from this convoy commenced this morning and that aid was still being distributed as of this afternoon. The convoys faced many obstacles in reaching their destinations as a result of the main road between Polonnaruwa and Batticaloa being inundated.
An attack had been carried out at the party office of the New Democratic Front presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena in Mahiyangania. The police media unit stated that the attack was carried out at around 10 p.m. last night by a group of people who arrived in 2 vans. Police said that 3 people, including a former army colonel who sustained injuries in the incident, are currently being treated at the Mahiyangania hospital. The office and several vehicles have been damaged as a result of the attack. The police media unit meanwhile said that the suspects who have been identified are yet to be arrested. Let's now take a look at some of the views expressed on the election stage.
We don't have to make a special statement on the development carried out by this corrupt government. According to the stipulated costs revealed by the Railway Department, the Jaffna railway line has been built at 406% more, while the Thalemana line on 436% more, and the Mathura Belyatta railway line at 2000% more. The money spent on the Mathura Belyatta line is worth 7,600 kilograms of gold, 1 million gold sovereigns. So when Mahinda Rajapaksa builds the road to Kataragama, there will be no country left. Take the highways. The highway from Kottawa to Pinnaduwa has been constructed at a rate of 281% more. Katunayaka at 505% more. The Gaul Mathura highway at 705% more. And the Kadawatha Keravala Pitiya highway at 2072% more. This government does not obtain a 10% commission. It obtains 2000% in commission. Give this government 6 more years of rule and it will obtain 5000% in commission.
කොමිෂන් නෙමෙයි 102 කොමිෂන් ගහන ආණ්ඩුවක් මේකට තව 6 අවුරුද්දක් බලය දෙනවා කියන්නේ 150,000 දක්වා මේක ගමන් කරනවා කියන එක. එතකොට මේ එක්කහුවෙච්ච එක්කෙනෙක්ගේවත් එක ප්‍රතිපත්තියකට අනිත් ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් ගැලපෙන්නේ නැහැ.
None of the people who have joined up there have corresponding policies. Does the policy of the JHU align with the policy of Ranil Wickremesinghe? Does it align with Fonseca's policy? Does it align with Wickremabahu's policy? This is all an international effort. What is the problem that the international community has? Mahinda Rajapaksa is a leader who acts according to his prerogative. He is not a leader that the international community can make dance to their tune. He is not a puppet. So the international conspiracy now is to bring all these leaders whose policies do not align to the same place.
මේ එකට එකක් ගැලපෙන්නේ නැති නායකයෝ සේරම එකතරකට ගෙනාවා.
මේ රටේ සංවර්ධන නවත්තලා තියෙන ඇති හැම එක්කෙනාගේම තියෙන ධාරිතාව තියෙන හැකියාව.
The strengths and abilities of each and every individual has been blocked. This has been done for the want of a single family. This executive presidency must be abolished. We need something that boosts people's capabilities, not something that imprisons them.
බුද්ධිමත් මේකළු තමයි මේක තමයි හදන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් මෙහෙම පෞද්ගලික ආරවුල් ටිකක් අරගෙන
They have taken some personal problems, thrown in communalism, and now are working with foreign forces to undermine us and emerge victorious. What they are trying to do is come into government by hook or by crook.
මිනිස්සු තුල බිය, සැකය, අවිශ්වාසය හැම තිස්සෙම
With every passing hour, this government is creating fear, suspicion and mistrust among you. That is why we need an organization at this election. If this is a free and fair election that is held without state power being misused, then we will win by 75%. There would be no cause for any doubt.
Election theme?
ඒකන කිසිම සැකයක් ඇති කරගන්න සාධකයක් නැහැ.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the government has worked for health services of the estate Tamil community and for several other regional Tamil communities. The president made this statement addressing a public rally in Nuwara yesterday.
The rally was organized to muster support to President Mahinda Rajapaksa ahead of the forthcoming presidential poll. They are aiming to destroy tea plantations. I have to remind that we will not let this happen. I would like to remind that we implemented a special presidential task force to prevent the spread of malnutrition suffered by the children of this area. Recently, we appointed 500 Tamil-speaking health inspectors and family health workers from the estate. We have established Ayurveda hospitals in the estate like we have done so in the north and the east. I would also like to remind that we will continue to provide the 50 kilogram bag of fertilizer that we provided for a rate of 350 rupees.
ආයුර්වේද රෝහල් ඇති කරලා තියෙනවා. අපි කිලෝ 50ක පෝරමිටිය රුපියල් 350 බැගින් තව දුරටත් ලබා දෙනවායි කියන එකත් අපි මතක් කරන්නේ.
A rally organized by the Common Opposition was held in Munuragala town yesterday.
The rally was held to muster support for presidential candidate Maithripala Sirisena.
දැන් ආණ්ඩු විරෝධී ජනමතය පුළුල් ලෙස රටේ ගොඩ නැගිලා ඉවරයි. මහා ජනතා රැල්ලක් මහා විශාල
Public opinion against the government is widespread in the country at present. The public wave has come forward in numbers. A public tsunami has been triggered to put an end to the government of Mahinda Rajapaksa. So now they are spreading false propaganda to try and mentally weaken the people. The new government that we are building belongs to the farmers, a government of the country's working class, a government of the youth, a government of the country's people. Through this, we will end the rule of a corrupt government and bring about the change that the country requires.
රටට අවශ්‍ය වෙනස්කම් රාශියක් කරලා මේ දූෂිත පාලනය වෙනස් කරලා මේ තක්කඩි පාලනය ඉවර කරලා මේ අශීලාචාර පාලනය ඉවර කරලා තමුන්නාන්සලට අපි ඊටාම යහපත් පාලනයක් මේ රටේ ලබා දෙනවා. ආර්ථික සමෘද්ධිය ඇති කිරීම අපේ ප්‍රමුඛ කාර්යයක් බවට අපි පත් කරනවා. අපි දකිනවා හංසයා වටා රජයේ ප්‍රබලව එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා.
We can see the swan surrounded with the coming together of the country's prominent personalities. The swan is very powerful. When this happens, the country's ruler might be coming down with a temperature that won't go down. I believe that you will clear the way for this corrupt ruler and his dictatorship to leave politics. Now we are involved in trying to carve out a hideout for this leader after his defeat.
Meanwhile, a bus met with an accident in Vellavata this morning, injuring 10 passengers. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona said that the luxury bus bound to Colombo from LPTA had veered off the road and collided onto a sidewalk barrier, thereby resulting in the accident this morning. The injured persons are currently being treated at the Colombo Villa Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, an 8-year-old child who had been trapped in the bus following the accident had been rescued by officers attached to the Colombo Fire Department. Elections Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya says that no decision has been made on postponing the presidential election scheduled to be held on the 8th of January 2015 due to the prevalent inclement weather. Deshapriya noted that he is yet to receive a request to postpone the election through a candidate's polling representative or the candidate's lawyer. The Election Secretariat says that postal voters who fail to vote could do so tomorrow. The casting of postal votes was held on the 22nd, 23rd and 26th of this month, and according to the Additional Elections Commissioner U. Amaradasa, this will be carried out at district elections offices. Meanwhile, the deadline for the distribution of polling cards has been extended until the 4th of January 2015 from the previous deadline, which was set for the 31st of this month. The Additional Elections Commissioner U. Amaradasa added that steps were taken to postpone the deadline set for the distribution of polling cards after considering the prevalent inclement weather. In some cricket news, New Zealand have successfully chased the 105 target set by Sri Lanka this morning after the visiting side were bowled out for 407. The Kiwis scored 107 for the loss of 2 wickets in 30.4 overs, with Ross Taylor undismissed on 39 together with Kane Williamson on 31.
That's 332 for 8. New Zealand won in Christchurch. Picking the new ball.
For the Lankans, Shamin Deranga and Tharindu Kaushal shared a wicket each. The victory in New Zealand's 5th of the year 2014 and makes it their best year in Test history.
Gone over the... This one's in the air, and this should be the end of the innings. Yes, it is. Didn't time it at all, and finally, this final wicket resistance is over.
And that's a wrap of lunchtime news here at News First. For the News First team, I'm Florin Rajendran. Have a safe day ahead.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.